Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the forecast for the United States and Dominican Republic, as we do have tropical activity going on and also a heat wave going on for parts of the US. So let's get right into things. Right now we are looking at the National Hurricane Center page for the tropical Atlantic, as we do have a little bit going on here. We have Tropical Storm Franklin, we have now Tropical Depression Gert, and remnants, it looks like, of Emily. We also have potential Tropical Cyclone 9, and then we have another disturbance that came off of Africa that is continuing to move its way northwest here. First of all, we're going to look here at potential Tropical Cyclone 9. There's sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. This is expected to become a tropical storm before making landfall in Texas. We already do have tropical storm warnings in effect for southern Texas, where we could see a tropical storm by 7 a.m. on Tuesday. It's moving west at 16 miles per hour, and it's something we will have to watch for potentially tropical storm force winds and potentially some flash flooding being possible for southern Texas. Here's our tropical storm force wind probabilities. We have about 5 to 10% chance for areas of southern Texas and a little area of 10 to 20% chance of tropical storm force winds of 39 miles per hour or more being possible from this system. We're also going to see a little bit of rain from this system too, as we could maybe see a little bit of flash flooding being possible. We do have a widespread area of 2 to 4 inches being possible, even an area of 4 to 6 inches being possible just east of Laredo. We do have potentially some heavier rain being possible. Luckily, these aren't too high of amounts of rainfall, but still some flash flooding could be possible, mainly isolated, potentially some scattered flash flooding being possible in some areas. We'll have to watch, but well needed rain for some of these areas, because I believe these areas have been dry for a while, so they do get to see a little bit of rain and get some relief from being dry so long in the heat. We also have a large area of potentially 4 to 6 inches, some areas of 6 to 10 in areas of northern Mexico, but that's not affecting the U.S. here, mainly up to 4 to 6 inches being possible for southern Texas. We also have Tropical Storm Franklin with sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, moving west at 4 miles per hour. This is a tropical storm right now and is expected to stay a tropical storm as it hits Dominican Republic. We already have tropical storm warnings in effect, and we also have some tropical storm watches in effect for when this storm moves out of the Dominican Republic. Then by potentially 8 a.m. on Friday, we could have a hurricane potentially in the Atlantic close just south of Bermuda, where we're going to have to watch close to Bermuda for potentially maybe a hurricane getting close to your guys' area. Something to watch. It could still change of the cone uncertainty as the main day is out, but something we will have to watch. But Dominican Republic could see potentially tropical storm force winds with potentially some heavy rain. Here are our tropical storm force wind probabilities of potentially 39 miles per hour or more, and we have a widespread area of 5 to 20% chance of tropical storm force winds, with some areas in the Dominican Republic of 30 to 40% chance of 39 miles per hour or more being possible. And you can notice as it moves out of the Dominican Republic back into the Atlantic, we do have a large area of 30 to 40% chance of tropical storm force winds, so they're feeling confident that it's going to strengthen back up and maybe even make it to a hurricane as it moves out of the Dominican Republic back into the tropical Atlantic. So here's our rainfall amounts. Here we have about a 1 to 2 inches area in the light green, and then in the dark green we have 2 to 4 inches of rain being possible, so we could see some flooding possibly going on in some of these areas. We also have Tropical Depression Gert. This has now 30 miles per hour winds. This was a tropical storm, I believe, earlier today, but they just, I think, downgraded it to a tropical depression, and it's not expected to do too much. Mainly stay a tropical depression and probably going to become remnants here soon, so we don't have to really worry about this storm. Finally, we're looking here at post-tropical cyclone Emily. We have sustained winds of 35 miles per hour It's expected to stay a tropical depression as it continues to move to the west-northwest here all the way till 8 a.m. Thursday. It's not expected to hit any land, so we really don't have to worry about this system either affecting any land here in the future. Last thing we have to talk about here in the tropical Atlantic, at least today, is Disturbance 1 here. We have a 70% chance of development within the next 5 days here, so this is likely going to be developing into a tropical depression or tropical storm here in a few days. A 40% chance of development within the next 48 hours, so it's going to continue to move into the Atlantic and likely become a tropical depression and probably a tropical storm here in the future. But right now it doesn't look like it's going to impact any land, so we really don't have to worry about the storm as of now, but something to continue to monitor. Now we're going to move on to the severe weather side of things. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather today for parts of the western U.S., including Arizona all the way up to Montana. This includes Cedar City, Salt Lake City, Billings, Phoenix, Arizona. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather with mainly the risk of damaging winds, but a little bit of large hail can't be ruled out, a mainly isolated risk of severe weather in these areas. We also have another marginal risk of severe weather over areas of northeast Minnesota and northwest Wisconsin, where we could potentially see a little bit of large hail being possible as the main threat, and this includes Duluth here, as we could see some severe weather being possible, mainly isolated. And then we also have another risk severe weather marginal risk down near Corpus Christi, where we could potentially see a tornado or two being possible, but not a very big risk of severe weather. As this tropical cyclone moves in, we will have to watch for a few tornadoes being possible, but mainly the risk is pretty low for tornadoes, but we'll have to monitor it closely, especially near Corpus Christi. We do have the risk of a tornado or two being possible out of this tropical cyclone. Our flash flooding risk for today is a marginal risk and a slight risk today for areas of the western United States, where it could potentially see isolated to scattered flash flooding being possible. We also have a marginal risk over Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Then we also have another marginal risk for southern Texas because of that tropical cyclone. Day 2, we have a slight risk in areas of the northwest and around the Four Corners states region, mainly Utah and Arizona. We do have the risk of potentially some scattered flash flooding being possible. We also have another slight risk over southern Texas, where we could see some isolated scattered flash flooding being possible, with amounts of 4 to 6 inches being possible in some areas. We also have another marginal risk over Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Indiana, where we could see a little bit isolated flash flooding being possible. As we head into day 3, we have another marginal risk of excessive rainfall for Texas all the way up into Wyoming, and an area for areas of Michigan all the way over to Pennsylvania, where we could see some isolated flash flooding being possible again on day 3. So as we look into the future, we see some of the remnants from Hilary, some of that moisture here in areas of the northwest and around the Four Corners states. We see some rain and thunderstorms ongoing, causing potentially heavy rainfall, flash flooding, isolated to scattered being possible. So as this continues to move northeast here into areas of Canada, potentially by later on 8 p.m. tonight, potentially seeing some heavy rainfall and flooding going on. We also start to see some of this rain and thunderstorm activity start to move into Texas around midnight tonight. We could potentially see flash flooding and a tornado or two being possible with some of those thunderstorms down there. Also some of the thunderstorms for the western United States. Then as we continue on, we see quite a bit of rain and thunderstorms still going on for around the Four States region. Also the western United States near California, Washington, Oregon. We also see some heavy rain and thunderstorms going on for Minnesota, Wisconsin. We see some of that heavy rain from the cyclone down in Texas around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Like I said, a tornado or two possible and flash flooding being the main threat. We see over the central plains and Midwest we're pretty dry because of that heat dome that continues into later this week. we could potentially see some major heat. Heat index of potentially 110, 120, or even potentially higher in some areas. So we definitely will have to watch it as we go forward. We still see some of that rain and thunderstorms up into the northwest. The rain and thunderstorms looks like it moves into Mexico as we head into 3 p.m. tomorrow. So, and really most of the central plains, Midwest, even the southeast looks mainly dry, and seeing that heat from the heat dome going on into areas of the central United States. As we go forward, we see some rain and thunderstorms around 7 a.m. on Wednesday for Michigan. Some of these rain and thunderstorms looks like they try to make it into the northeast, but weaken by this time 2 p.m. on Wednesday. And by the end of this model run, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, we're seeing maybe a little bit of showers and thunderstorms ongoing for the northeast, and potentially also some more heavy rain and thunderstorms going on around the 4 states region. And the rest of the U.S. is mainly dry and still dealing with heat being possible, especially in the central plains and Midwest. Okay, as we go forward in the future on the GFS, we're seeing potentially some more heavy rainfall going on with some of the moisture around the 4 states region. We also see a little bit of rain and thunderstorms being possible for the northeast around Friday, Thursday night into Friday. We could be seeing some thunderstorms being possible for the northeast. Potentially even more rain and thunderstorms ongoing for Utah, Colorado, Arizona, even New Mexico. Potentially some rain and thunderstorms. Looks like even more thunderstorms also in the upper Midwest toward Minnesota, North Dakota, potentially around Friday. As we go into Saturday, maybe some more thunderstorms ongoing for the southeast and areas of Colorado, Wyoming, maybe some areas in the northwest, potentially seeing some heavy rainfall and thunderstorms going on Saturday, something we will have to watch. Okay, now we're looking at the temperature anomalies for the future. As we go forward, we see above normal temperatures going on for the Midwest and Central Plains. As we head into Monday and Tuesday, we're seeing above normal, maybe even 15 to 20 degrees above normal for areas of the Midwest, close to South Dakota and Minnesota. The heat continues into later this week in the Midwest. Looks like it continues to move into areas of Minnesota, Wisconsin, seeing some above normal temperatures being possible. You can see a lot of the U.S. is in above normal, all the way down to the southeast, potentially above normal temperatures being possible with some extreme heat and mainly dry conditions. There won't be that many clouds out there to stop the heat, so you'll be dealing with quite a bit of heat going on in a lot of these regions. As we go forward into around Thursday, we still see some of that extreme heat for areas in the Midwest toward Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, even areas of Michigan, and it continues to move its way eastward, southeastward. Around Friday, still potentially some heat going on. And then it looks like as we head toward the weekend, we may start to see a little bit of relief, especially in areas of South Dakota, Minnesota. We see a lot of that heat looks like it moves southward into the southeast. So hopefully that can happen here, so we can see a little bit of a break from a lot of this extreme heat for the Midwest and Central Plains. Something we will have to watch in the future. Hopefully we can see at least a little bit of relief in some of these regions with this intense heat. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share. It would be all appreciated here. This is kind of my old style of videos. I'm going to try to do more of these because I enjoy making these types of videos here. And I'm going to try to upload, at least try to do it one a week here in the future. And I'm going to try to do more of these type of videos here. These are the videos I kind of like to enjoy doing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed here, and I'm going to try to do more of these here in the future, but we'll see what happens. Especially with school coming up, it's going to be a lot harder, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye everyone.